Hi everyone, so today I'll be doing my empties for the month of March. Like always, I'll have these separated into categories in case you're only interested in certain items. I'll start off with skincare, specifically sheet masks. I have a lot of these to finish up. I realized after the fact that just because something's on sale doesn't mean I need to buy it, especially if I have other products that I would prefer and they go on sale. So Innisfree sheet mask, not my favorite, mainly because there are other ones that fit my face shape better, and these are slightly scratchy, not so much where they're like uncomfortable or my face is itchy. I just have other ones that I prefer, but they have a lot of essence. So I have 6 here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And this is the green tea version, I believe. I think they have, well, I purchased a bunch. No surprise there. But the rose one is slightly more fragrance, and this one doesn't have a ton of fragrance in case you're someone who's sensitive to fragrance in skincare. So yeah, this one wouldn't repurchase it, but I will finish that up. I'm not going to gift it to anyone or like pawn it off on someone. So I think that might be it for, oh no, kind of a skincare product. So I got the value pack at Costco. These are Swiffers premium rounds. They say premium, but I don't think they're premium. So they have two sides. One is a softer side, and then the other side is more of like a quilt. Okay, the problem, my sister doesn't mind them. One, they're thick, so they absorb a lot of essence. And two, it's a cotton round, right? And then along the edge, there's like almost this seam where once I swipe my face, I feel like I feel that kind of seam or whatever's holding these two textures of cotton rounds together, and it bothers me. So if I didn't have anything else, because these are essentially the only cotton rounds that I have, and I don't want to go out and like try to find another brand or something, they don't bother me to the point where I need to go look for something else. I think I'm at that point where let me just power through and finish these off. But my sister does like them. I might try using them to absorb my unscented wax after I'm done warming them in my hot plates or my Scentsy warmer. But yeah, wouldn't recommend this. I feel like it's a little bit too tough, that little seam. Okay, next we have, I guess this would be kind of body care. Yeah, I think it's body care. This is from a small business called Pixie Spell Essentials. I wrote down the name because this kind of rubbed off. Actually, it was kind of lightly printed to begin with. It might be because it's a perfume oil, and those tend to rub off like labels, especially if they're from a small business / indie brand, depending on what material they use. So Marshmallow Clouds. This is a dupe for Bath & Body Works' Boardwalk Marshmallow Clouds. Those fragrance notes are magnolia, I believe marshmallow, and sandalwood. Even when I first got this, maybe like a year or 2 years ago, I felt like it wasn't an exact dupe. But I feel like this slightly went off because I'm getting almost this like stale, I wouldn't say Play-Doh, but like kind of like a cardboard adjacent smell. I think it might be because of the marshmallow. It smells a little bit stale, but this one isn't too strong. I feel like for the most part, her body oils last pretty long on my skin, but sometimes they are a little bit too thick. So I feel like this is one where if you put a lot of perfume oil on yourself, you might get a little greasy, and it might be a little bit too much, especially now that it's a lot warmer here in Southern California. So yeah, this one, it went off, but I wouldn't go out of my way to repurchase this fragrance. I feel like I have other ones from her shop that I will eventually try later down the road. An MD that my sister finished up, not really body care, but kind of like shower product. We have her Halls shower steamers. So she wrote, sis, she got it for $3. The retail price is $6.99. Honey Lemon. I want to say that this is her favorite one out of the Halls shower steamers that she's tried, which I think to this point has only been the cherry and this Honey Lemon. I think there was one that was like a menthol type medicinal scent in a purple or blue bag, but that one never went down. So she said that she really likes the scent. It's a bit light in the shower, but she would only purchase these Halls shower steamers if they were $3. I feel like each time she tells me, her price point of purchasing gets lower and lower. Not sure why. Okay, somewhat body care. I finished up this sample of deodorant. It's from a small company called Little Seed Farm. They use, I guess, more natural products. There is no aluminum or baking soda. Initially, when I first tried aluminum-free deodorants, I didn't have much experience, so I just used whatever my sister used. And back in the day. I don't believe Native had their sensitive skin line, which I believe does not have baking soda. So when she tried their natural deodorants, she broke out. And so the next thing that she tried was this one. So you have to kind of like stick your finger in, or if not, you have to use an applicator. But what I do is I just use my finger and I rinse my hands. But yeah, this doesn't prevent you from sweating, but I feel like it helps with decreasing the odor, or at least maybe I don't do any strenuous activities where I feel like I don't smell too much. I mean, I hope I don't smell. Oh, I don't want to think about that. But anyways, I will continue to purchase from this company. They also have, I believe, goat milk or like other like clean, how you say non-toxic, I don't really believe in that, products. This one is in the Blue Lotus scent, and it's slightly like a fresh floral. I think I like the lemon one more, the grapefruit lemon. So I wouldn't repurchase this particular scent, but I would repurchase the grapefruit lemon because I just really like lemon and citrus scents in general. Okay, next one, we have a hair care product that my sister and I really liked, not necessarily because of what it did to our hair, but because of the smell. So this is the Subaki Premium EX Premium EX Repair Mask, $10.99. And the reason why we both love this is because of the scent. Normally, I don't really enjoy peach fragrances because they can go a little bit off, but this reminds me more of those fruity teas that you would find at boba shops. And I feel like this one is very strong on like a peach note. It is artificial, but it's like a sweet candy peach. It reminds me, maybe it might be mixed with a little bit of lychee. And I think when I looked into it, I think it might have camellia or some type of very, very soft floral in here. But if I didn't know that this didn't have a floral scent, I would think this is totally edible. The texture was more almost like like a honey-based hair care product. If you ever tried one of those, it was on the slightly thicker side, but I feel like I could go from my shampoo step straight into this hair mask. I feel like I didn't need a conditioner and a mask, and hair wasn't left like overly frizzy. I could detangle it and stuff, and I felt like I didn't need a ton. So I guess the size is okay. Me and my sister, well, my sister would repurchase this if it went on sale. I have a bunch of hair care products I need to finish, so I want to repurchase it. But if I also found it on sale, then I would get it if my sister didn't beat me to it. All right, next one, we have another hair care product from Lush. So this one, I mainly got it because at the time I had a coworker who no longer works with us, or me. I say us because my sister works in the same place as I do. Well, technically she got hired first. So I work in her, whatever, I'm going to skip that. I'm having a hard time forming thoughts and I need to hurry up. But my coworker, back to that. She smelled really good. And I thought, oh, like, do you have on a different perfume and stuff? Because she'd be more into clean, fresh scents. And then she suddenly started smelling kind of like gourmand-like with a hint of citrus. And she said it was the hair care product that she had. And that was this Lush Super Milk Conditioning Hair Primer. And I thought, ooh, I have some pots I can redeem for $5 off or something. And let me tell you, this does nothing for my hair. If anything, it makes it somewhat like, not greasy, but it weighs down my hair. I feel like it makes it clump together. I feel like I would need other products to kind of fix what this product does for my hair. It doesn't really absorb. It's kind of like when you put Vaseline on your skin and it's just there. It doesn't really do anything unless you have like a cut or scrape or something, or a tattoo. But that's all to say, I feel like I really like how this smells. And I think that's mainly because of the Super Milk fragrance itself. I know that this went viral a few times. So unfortunately, I did buy this in a bigger size. It's already expired. So towards the end, what I did is I used this kind of as a before the shower, let me kind of like comb my hair, like detangle it, or use it as like a hair mask before the shower. And I feel like that slightly helped, but it didn't really lock in the fragrance or anything. That kind of washed away with my shampoo and my conditioner. So I would not repurchase this. I would not get it again. And now, since the Super Milk scent family is so popular, they have brought out other products in this fragrance, like I think a lotion, scrub, and just, I haven't been into Lush, so I'm sure there's even more product types with this scent family. So I would recommend the scent. I would not repurchase the product because it did nothing for my hair. I have more frizzier, slight wavy hair, and my sister has, I think she said low porosity, curly, poofy hair, but it's thin. And it didn't work for her hair either. So there's that. Okay, moving on to home fragrance. Let's go on to wax melt specifically. So one that I finished, it was a partial. I got it from Jeannie over at Jeannie Melt Scents. It was a part of, I believe, a giveaway that she did after a round robin was hosted. I think like one or two other round robins happened afterwards. So this was an older Sassy Girl Aroma Brittle. This is in Candy Crush. This is the older style, 6.8 ounces. So fragrance notes, caramel, sugar, vanilla blended with assorted fruits. Now this one, I had it going in my hot plate, my Julienne hot plate warmer, and my Scentsy 25 watt bulb warmer. And it did not work in my Scentsy bulb warmer, but it did work in my hot plate. Even when I had it on medium, I didn't have to have it on high. And I think I used 2 or 3 pieces. The problem is that I don't really enjoy the scent. I think there's some fruit in here that's not listed. I don't know if it's a banana or maybe it's a mango. It kind of smells a little bit tropical. So I think that's why I didn't really enjoy it, but I can smell it. So I kind of had it going with a candle I was burning. Which candle was I burning? I think I was burning Kringle's lemon sugar marshmallow, and I think it toned down whatever fruit I did not enjoy. But this one performed well, and it seems like it's an older brittle, so I'm kind of glad because I have a ton of Sassy Girl Aroma brittle, so I hope that it keeps its, strength, longevity, and it doesn't like deteriorate too quickly before I get around to warming or melting it. Okay, next we have 2 kind of samples almost. I wouldn't say samples because I paid for them, but they're like single fragrance oils from Athame and Alchemy. So she does not use plastic. So these are, I believe, wax papers. First one is almond honey, and the bottom is buttered oats or butter oats. So the problem with Athame and Alchemy and the wax paper is that I don't know what it is about the wax paper, or maybe it's just my nose in general, but I really hone into that wax paper scent, and I feel like it's really hard to get a read of the scent on cold. And I feel like sometimes if the wax is sitting there for long enough, I feel like it kind of changes the scent. And also these were a little bit light. So normally I would recommend Athame and Alchemy in hot plates. No, not hot plates. Sorry. Correction. Tea light warmers. But I didn't want to put it on because the weather is a little bit warmer. So I tried putting, I believe, 2 pieces each time in my Julienne hot plate warmer on high. And sadly, they didn't really perform. So they were pretty light. I want to say like very low, and it didn't really fill up my medium-sized bedroom where I basically warm and burn everything. So I would not repurchase these. And I'm slightly worried that my wax from Athame and Alchemy will not degrade, but it would lose its performance or longevity if I don't get around to warming it. So it's just a reminder that I need to hurry up and warm before I place another order. But I believe that her shop has reopened, and she also has other products like incense cones, body care, like scrub, shampoo, so on and so forth. All right, I think that is it for wax. Let's go on to candles. I'll do my sister's honorary empties first. So you might have noticed if you watch any of my other candle hauls, but I have purchased a ton of woodwick candles, and I personally haven't really finished any, but my sister has powered through quite a few. First one we have is Lavender Spall in the medium tumbler. These burn for a very long period of time. This one has a softer sound than the large tumblers. And if you can see here, it has a hard time pulling out around this like midway part. But once you get lower and lower, it's kind of okay. All right, so the scent does smell like a more masculine lavender. I feel like there's an herbal quality to it. But instead of it being like Bath & Body Works' lavender vanilla, where there's a sweetness added, I feel like there's almost this like salted ocean note that's added. So I am going to gift this specific scent, or the one that I purchased, to my friend. And I think my sister said that she would repurchase this in another format. once she gets around to finishing the ones that she currently has. But yeah, this one didn't really give her any issues. It's just that the scent isn't as loud as the ellipse style or the large tumbler style. All right, so another wood wick that my sister finished up, and this one gave her so many issues, and I think I offloaded this to her because I actually don't know why. I think I didn't want to burn this one. I think that was the case. This is the Cafe Sweets Trilogy. The scents are vanilla bean, caramel, and biscotti. So this is a candle, if you're not familiar, that has 3 distinct layers. So each time you go on to the next layer, the scent changes and they kind of like melt together. The vanilla bean is the best scent, and then I personally don't really like the biscotti because it leans a little bit like toasty, or I don't know if maybe that's because my sister has this burning for a longer period of time. But this one didn't have a lot of cling on, and I think honestly she should have stopped burning it when she hits these fragrance notes, because with these woodwick candles, they have a tendency to get a bit toasty or like soot smelling, and even the wax itself is slightly discolored. Here, let me show you how the lavender spa looks like. So this one, it still looks like the original color. It just looks slightly murky, but it's a little bit hard to tell on camera. Anyway, so this is how the inside of the Cafe Sweets Trilogy candle looks like. I did write some notes. So my sister would not repurchase, and this set off the alarm if she had it burning for under an hour, which is weird because normally she has it burning for 2 hours and there's no issues. This is the first wood wick that's happened to. If she had one of those like soot detectors, I feel like that would just be going through the roof. And then she says only liked the vanilla bean layer. So yeah, she has purchased just the vanilla bean scent, which you are able to purchase on the Yankee Candle / Woodwick website. That one is like a very creamy white color. So when she's burned that scent itself, it has gotten discolored, but I didn't really notice a difference with the scent in terms of it being like super sooty or scorched or yeah, sooty smelling. But this one I did. So she and I would not repurchase this Cafe Sweets Trilogy in any type of form factor. Oh gosh. So then another candle that my sister finished up is this older Kringle candle that I purchased for her. I believe it was like really cheap, like $6.75 or like $7 or less. This is in Morning Cartoons. I believe I reviewed this particular scent in the older soy paraffin format, and it was pretty light. And I want to say that this one was even lighter than the soy paraffin when I would walk into her room. This is the 100% soy formula. I believe she told me that she wants to keep I just remembered why that happened. Anyways, I believe she wants to keep this empty jar because she really likes the size of the vessel. And I told her that they don't make, or really, they're not going to continue the medium-sized tumblers. So the problem, if you can't already tell, I hope she's able to kind of salvage the jar, is that this wick drifted all the way to the end, and I'm glad that she stopped burning it. The wax looks pretty clear. When I review this, and I still believe that it does not smell like the photo, I feel like they could have just changed it out for, what is it, Marshmallow Morning, and I think that would have smelled more accurate, because to me it smells slightly more like Lucky Charms. I believe Terry over at Terry Smell Goods, I also love her channel. I would recommend you subscribe to her in case you don't. She talks about a lot of wax and home fragrance items. But I believe she told me that this one smells to her like Cinnamon Toast Crunch, if I am remembering that correctly. This one, yeah, it just makes me, think of Lucky Charms personally. My sister said that she couldn't really smell this, so when she had this going in her room, I think she said she would give it a light for both strength and projection. She would have it going with another candle to kind of add some light creaminess to whatever scent combo she was doing. So there's that one. I don't believe that she would go out of her way to repurchase this, and I think even in a larger vessel, this wouldn't really help out. Okay, next one. Oh, I believe this is the last one that my sister finished up, but we have, of course, a CBD candle. This is in the scent Indigo Blue, and I believe that we got this on sale. Retail price at TJ Maxx $9.99, and she got it for $8. These are getting harder and harder to find, and I don't know if she will continue to Well, if we don't see them anymore at TJ Maxx or Marshalls, I don't know if she would go out of her way to purchase it from the online website because the retail price is just a lot more. Even on sale, these single wicks, how much are they? 12 ounces? Yeah, these 12-ounce single wicks, they're about $19. I think the retail price is maybe like 20 something. They are a small company made in the USA with 100% soy wax, according to their Instagram. But okay, here is how it looks like. And she also wants me to give this back to her because I accidentally threw out her Bath and Body Works silicone lid last month or a month and a half ago. But here's how it looks like. If you can see, the wax looks perfectly clear, no real discoloration. The main issue with these candles is because they're single wick, the strength tends to be low to medium. She has it burning in her small office space in a hurricane. And that's because they tend to tunnel, and the hurricane helps with that. And it also helps the tunneling. What else? Oh, and with the strength. So this one is one that she doesn't really care for the scent. It smells very aquatic, maybe mixed in with a little bit of eucalyptus. Yeah, she says she wouldn't repurchase it, but if she got desperate and she only saw this one, I think she would repurchase it. So there is Indigo Blue, not her favorite scent from the Candle Bliss brand, but she really likes having CBD candles going as or while she is working. And the last honorary empty, we have one that my mom finished up. So my sister got this from a client that she works on. And I think this would have gone to maybe my other coworker, but she knows that my sister and I enjoy burning candles. So she's like, you can keep it. We didn't really care for the scent. So what ended up happening is that my mom kind of used this as one of the candles that she burns during the first of every month. That's just a tradition or a custom that we have. So this one is, I think it's one of those like white blank label companies that you just stick a label on, but I know this candle is not worth $29.99. It says Kingdom Keepsakes Sweet Nectar of the End Zone. I believe that this was because of like football season, March Madness, something like that, but this burned horribly. So here we go. Around right here, my mom got very puny flames. So I think I soaked up wax either 2 or 3 times. And I think towards the end, she kind of like dumped some in the trash can to try to give it a second life. Oh, and what I wanted to make a note. So with another small company called the Gift Gala Shop, they also use these cork lids. But I thought it was interesting that this company, or whoever they are, they have like this plastic seal right here. So I don't know if that somehow helps with the fragrance. But yeah, just like interesting if anyone knows, because I know that this is like a cork or faux cork material. But yeah, I just don't know if that helps keep the fragrance, because this does smell on cold pretty strong, but this didn't really perform. It was, I would say, low in strength and throw, maybe like a 2 or 3 out of 10. I don't really like the scent, so I guess that's a good thing. It smells slightly more, I would say, maybe cozy. I know it says peach nectar, but I don't really get that. I get more of like of a perfumey, cozy, cashmere type of a scent. When I repurchase that, and I don't even want to try to look at repurchasing it. Okay, going on to my candle empties, I finished up a large 2-wick Kringle tumbler. We have cherry pie. And let me tell you, this thing sooted a lot. And I think I marked where it started getting discolored, the wax, right around here. And I think the only reason why this didn't get more discolored is I would limit my burn time and I would turn it off immediately after burning it. I would always trim my wicks, because if not, this thing would have gotten pretty discolored and even more sooty. So right there, you can kind of see the, here, let me, so you can see right there, it's like soot. Okay, here's how it looks like on the inside. The wicks didn't get dislodged or anything. I personally feel like the scent is just okay. I wish that there was more of a flaky crust note. I don't really think it's detectable. This mainly smells like buttery bread mixed in with like a Bodycare cherry to me. Ooh, and my label is very off-centered. So cherry, pastry, fruit, citrus, buttery, vanilla. I feel like it should just say butter. Vanilla. The citrus, I can't really pick up on it right now. But I do have to say that I got more of a pastry note the lower down in the candle that I got, but it could be because the wax was getting discolored, so the scent was altering just a little bit. I don't think I would repurchase it, but I already did. But after I'm done with that second one, I don't think I'm going to repurchase it unless it goes on some type of super sale. This was a part of, I believe, the 2025 4th of July collection that came out with Bottle Rocket, which that one was canceled from my order. Still a little bit salty about that. But what am I trying to say? I don't think that the second one that I have had any wick changes made to it because I purchased it shortly after this one. So this one has a pour date of April 15th, 2025. I think the other one is the same pour date. So I think it's also going to burn a bit hot and sooty. So just beware if you have like an older version. All right, next candle that I finished up. I feel like this brand was sadly the biggest disappointment of 2025. Just because of the performance, the burn quality, strength and throw, it just wasn't there. It oddly looked very bubbly, and this was each and every candle that I got. Even the single wick that I gave to my mom to burn, it's having that same issue. So maybe when all of these were made, the stars were not aligned, or I don't know what. But yeah, I ended up kind of quitting halfway, and I thought, let me just stick this underneath the candle lamp or my candle crock. But that is the brand Luxillume. This one is their halfway to Halloween. I did only one review on Mickey Waffles because it just wasn't a good review. And I feel like if I would have reviewed all of the candles, I would have given a small business 4 unflattering reviews. And I feel like with one it's okay. But that's all to say, this halfway to Halloween candle had struggles with it looking super bubbly. There were black swirls in the wick. No, there were black swirls in the wax pool. The wicks were like giving up on life and they were shedding this like little black stuff. The strength wasn't there. And the interesting thing about this candle is that it was a tri-layered candle, not in the sense that the colors were different, but it was different scents. So the top was candy corn, the middle was caramel corn, and the base or bottom is was candied apple. So candy corn was virtually unscented. I did like how it smelled on cold. I think it was pretty authentic. When I moved on to the caramel corn, I could maybe get like a 2 out of 10, but it was very, very light in my medium-sized bedroom. And then after a while, I thought, you know what? I can't smell this. I think I have a better chance of getting some type of performance underneath my candle lamp or in my candle crock. So yeah, unfortunately, I will not be repurchasing from circa 1955 Luxillume. Again, I purchased all of these candles around the same time, so I don't know if it was the specific wax and wicks that were being used while all my 5 candles were being poured, but yeah, all of them had the same issue. If you're curious, I'll link up my review, but essentially they just all look like that. Bubbly, black swirls, not a good time. So there's that, wouldn't repurchase. All right, the next one, it's in a Bath and Body Works jar, but it's not a Bath and Body Works candle. So this is from a small business called Turtle Creek Candle Shop. Small business, they use 100% natural wax. It's been a while and I don't have the label, but I think it's either soy or soy coconut blend. So one of the candles arrived to me shattered. I let the owner know, and then she sent out a replacement. In order to not waste the wax, I ended up decanting it into this Bath and Body Works candle jar. This is an old white caramel cold brew from, I want to say like 2019. Yeah, 2019. The scent of the candle was just pink sugar, which I guess back in the day I was less aware about single fragrance oils, house blends, and all that. But pink sugar, because I bought, because the first one broke and then another one came to me that was not broken. It just, I don't know if it was, again, the wax or the wicks, but it smelled a bit burnt, but I could get scent out of it underneath my candle lamp in my candle crock. I powered through burning the one that was not broken, and I didn't really enjoy how it smelled. And so I stuck this one in the candle crock and the candle lamp, and I feel like I got about a medium strength and throw, and it lasted a pretty long time. It's a lot softer than 100% soy wax or even paraffin wax. So I feel like I would have to wait for the candle to fully solidify because my hands would get a bit greasy. But yeah, I don't think I would purchase again from Turtle Creek Candle Shop because the only thing that I believe performed for me was a freebie like wax melt. Yeah, wax melt in a cucumber scent. But again, it smelled like just straight up cucumber. I don't really think it was blended with anything else. So yeah, unfortunately, this didn't work out burning, but it was okay warming. But I wouldn't buy a candle to stick it underneath my candle lamp or my candle crock. I might as just well get a wax melt. All right, that is it for candles. Miscellaneous, we have some vitamin gummies. First one, we have Nature's Truth. I got this for $7. These are the biotin gummies. So this one, you take two. The flavor is pretty good. I believe it's peach. The consistency is pretty good. If you don't buy them too old, obviously they get a little bit harder. I feel like it does work in making my nails slightly harder, but I don't think that they grow any quicker. And either way, I like having my nails basically non-existent or pretty short because it bothers me when I have dirt or anything underneath my fingernail. And more so now that I'm like kind of gardening, watering, and like being outside. I love seeing like other people with long nails or acrylics or gels, but on me, it's just, it bothers me. So there's that. I did gift that to my friend and she said that it worked well for her. So there's that. Would repurchase it. However, I would like to get it under $7, maybe at my local pharmacy or something. And then next thing, I got some bromelain. I heard somewhere that this is supposed to help with swelling, but I feel like this did nothing for me. It did absolutely nothing. And I was already like halfway done with it, but then I slowly tried to finish it up over the course of like 6 or 7 months, just because I feel like it did nothing. So I had a tendency to forget about it. And it was the same capsule that if you've ever had fiber gummies in like a clear tablet, I had a little bit of an issue swallowing those because I feel like they get stuck in my throat. So I would have to drink like a ton of water beforehand or like have some water in my mouth and then kind of like chug it down that way. So when I repurchased it and I feel like it didn't really do anything. All right, so those are all my empties for the month of March. Let me know if you have any questions and I hope you have a great day. Okay, bye.